Okay, so we'll look at inequalities today, basically what they are, how they work, and we'll do some practice questions as well. Let's look at example 1 first. It says we have this inequality, we need to solve for this. So we'll solve this like any other equation. We'll bring 7x to the left and we'll bring negative 7 to the right. So 7x comes here, it becomes plus 7x, which means 7x minus 3x, and on the right side it's going to be negative 27 plus 7. So that's going to be 4x less than equals to 20, negative 20, which means x is less than or equals to 5. So anything less than or equals to 5, in the options we have it's negative 5, so that's negative 6, which is less than negative 5. Example 2. So we need to see what must be true. We'll solve the left side first, and then we'll solve the right side. So left side is going to be negative 7, less than or equals to negative 2x plus 3. For the right side, it's negative 2x plus 3 less than or equals to 15. We have these two equations. We'll solve this. I'll take 3 to the left, so that's negative 7 minus 3, which is minus 10, less than or equals to minus 2x. We'll divide both sides by negative 2, which is going to be 5 is equals to x. And because it was less than or equals to, we'll change this to greater than or equals to. So basically, if you remove the negative sign with x, if you make it positive, you'll also have to change this sign. So x is less than or equals to 5. For the right equation, we'll get negative 2x less than or equals to 12. 15 minus 3 is 12. Divide both sides by negative 2, we will get negative 6. And because we changed the sign, it's going to be greater than or equals to negative 6. So x is greater than or equals to negative 6 and less than or equals to 5. So negative 6, 5 is going to be C. Question 3. It says we have a diet plan at most 40 grams. So that's less than or equals to 40 in total. 5, it says 1 cookie is 5 grams of sugar. Salad is 7 grams of sugar. And then it says we have C cookies and S fruit salads. So we can basically say 5 cookies. So each cookie has 5 grams, so that's 5C plus 7S. So it's 7 grams per salad, and that should be less than or equals to 40, at most 40. That's going to be D. And then basically how inequalities work is that you have an equation, right? So let's say y is less than or equals to negative x minus 1. Let's say you have this. That's going to be this line here. Now, because it says greater than, we have to shade everything above the line. So that's greater than the line. If it had said less than negative x minus 1, we'll have to shade everything below the line, right? Now, if it says less than or greater than, it'll be a dotted line, right? So we'll use a dotted line like this. But if it says less than or equal to or greater than or equals to, we'll use a straight solid line. So if it, for example, if it was greater than or equals to negative x minus 1, it won't be dotted, it'll just be a straight solid line like that, right? Everything else remains the same. It'll still be shaded above the line. And you can always use Desmos to check. Example 4, we have these two inequalities. We need to see which one contains the solution. So we'll use Desmos for this. It's negative 3x plus 1. So we have y is greater than or equals to negative 3x plus 1. That's the first equation. Second one is 2x minus 3. We have 2x minus 3. So we have the purple line and the black line. So we're looking for the solution in between, which is going to be this triangle here. So this contains, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. This is quadrant 1. We have quadrant 1. We have some of quadrant 2. We don't have quadrant 3 in the solution, and we have a bit of quadrant 4. So we have 1, 2, and 4. We have 1, 2, and 4. D. Okay, next questions. Question 1, we have this equation, this inequality. We need to solve this. I'll bring this here, and I'll bring this here. So that becomes 14 minus 4 greater than 4x plus x. That's going to be 10 greater than 5x. X is less than 2. So you can write this like this, x is less than 2. So we need something less than 2, that's going to be A. Question 2, we have fractions. So I can write this like this. This goes to the left, this comes to the right. Minus 1 over 2x greater than negative 10 plus 4. Find the common denominator, it's going to be 4. So 3x minus multiply by 2, So 3x minus 2x divided by 4 greater than negative 6. That's going to be x over 4 greater than negative 6. That's going to be x greater than negative 24, which is going to be D. Question 3, we have two inequalities, and looking at the options, it can be 3 or x. There is no other option. So that means this has to be 3 because it's a straight horizontal line. The slope is 0. For this one, because it's a diagonal, we have some slope. So we'll say this is y is equals to x. It has slope. Now for y equals 3, because the shaded region is under the line, we'll say it's less than 3. So y is less than 3. And for this line, because the shaded region is above the line, we'll say y is greater than x. And you can check this with decimals as well. So greater than x and less than 3. That's going to be C. Question 4, it says we have Jerry estimates that there are m marbles in a jar. Harry, who knows the actual number, says there are n marbles. And then his estimate is within 10 marbles of Jerry's estimate. So n is within 10 marbles of Jerry's estimate. So n is within 10 marbles of his estimate. So that means his estimate plus 10 and his estimate minus 10. It's between these two, right? So that's going to be B. Question 5, it says we have M, which is the manufacturer produces this. M is the number of units produced, and then P is the number of units or the retail price of each chair. And the number of units sold is N. It says what are all the values for P for which the number of units produced is greater than or equals to number of units sold. So produced was M, is greater than or equals to sold, N. So we'll plug in the equations. 12P plus 100 greater than or equals to negative 3P plus 970. Solve for this, we'll get 15P is greater than or equals to 870. If you solve this, it'll be P is greater than or equals to 58. So that means it's going to be A. Question 6, we'll open the brackets. 3n minus 6 is greater than negative 4n plus 36. 4n comes here, 6 goes there. It'll be 7 greater than 36 plus 6 is going to be 40. That's going to be 42. And then n is greater than 6, which means the least possible value for n is going to be 7. 7 is the least possible integer value of this. Question 7. So now looking at the options, it's either 3 or minus 3. There's no other option. That means this line has to be 3. This has to be negative 3. So it has to be less than 3. Y is equals to 3. So y is less than 3 because it's under this line. And it should be greater than negative 3 because it's above this line. So less than 3 and less than equals to actually, because it's a solid line, not dotted. So that means it's going to be B. Question 8, it says Harry must travel 8 miles by bus, 16 miles by train. The bus travels X miles per hour, and then the train travels Y miles per hour. It says it takes no more than 1 hour. So it takes no more than means less than or equals to 1. And all of them are 1, which means we're looking at the time. So the time for the bus plus the time for the train should be less than or equals to 1. So to find the time is distance over speed. For the bus, the distance is 8, and the speed of the bus is x. The distance for the train is 16, and the speed of the train is y. If you add them together, it's going to be less than or equals to 1. So that means it has to be A. Question 9, we have that company A can produce 80 cartons each hour, and company B can produce 140 cartons each hour. We have 1100 cartons in total. It says it should be over 1100. These are all greater than, that's fine, in 10 hours. So in total we have 10 hours. So it says it takes X hours to come for company A and the remaining hours for company B. So company A can produce 80 cartons and X hours. So we'll multiply them together, 80X, that's for company A. For company B, it's 140, and it is the remaining number of hours. So in total we had 10 hours. So X takes some hours, and the remaining is going to be company B. So if I want to find the remaining number of hours, I can just minus 10 minus X. That's remaining. So that's 10 minus x. And obviously this has to be greater than 1100. So that's going to be C. Question 10, we have these two inequalities. We need to see which one is going to be correct. So for this, you can use Desmos. So 3 over 2x plus 2. That's going to be 3 over 2x plus 2. That's the first equation. The second one is negative 2x minus 5. Negative 2x minus 5. So we have these two equations, the purple line and the blue line. We're looking for the common region. The common region is this purple region here. So it's towards the left. So the solution is towards the left, which means it has to be D. Moving on, question 11. We have two inequalities. 120 is the solution. We'll just plug it in. So in the first one, if I plug in 1 and 20, y is 20 and greater than x is 1, so 15 plus a. And if I solve this, that's the first one, by the way, so that's going to be 5 is greater than a, first one. And for the second one, if I plug in 1 and 20, x is 1, y is 20, so 20 less than 5 plus b comes here, you get 15 less than b. So that means we need to find a possible value for b minus a. So let's say b has to be greater than 15. Let's say b is 16 and a should be less than 5. Let's say a is 4. So 16 minus 4, possible value is 12. Question 12. It says it takes no more than 30 hours at a nail salon, manicure in 20 minutes. Let's convert that to hours. So 20 minutes means 20 over 60, which means 1 over 3 hours. Right, so one manicure takes 1 over 3 hours, so a third of an hour. And then each, what else? And a pedicure takes 30 minutes. So one pedicure takes 30 minutes. 30 divided by 60 is going to be 1 over 2. So we can simply say this is 1 over 2 hours. So manicure 1 over 3 and pedicure 1 over 2 hours. So the cost is going to be 25 for manicure, 40 for pedicure. So 25 manicure and 40 for pedicure. So we can say 25m manicure plus 40p pedicure should be at least 900. So that's greater than or equals to 900. At least means greater than or equals to. And then the time is going to be 1 over 3m, because that's the time for manicure, plus 1 over 2p, that's the time for pedicure, should be no more than, less than or equals to 30. So we're looking for this. That has to be C. C is going to be correct. Question 13. So we'll solve this like this. So we'll solve the left side first. K is less than or equals to x. We do have that here in the third one. So if I bring k to the right, it's going to be x minus k. And that's going to be greater than or equals to 0, because x is greater than k. So that is correct. Let's look at this. We have x less than or equals to 3k plus 12. Let's say I bring 12 to the left side. That means x minus 12 is less than or equals to 3k. I do have that as well in the first one. And then let's check this k with this. So that means k is less than or equals to 3k plus 12. Let's solve this. K comes to the right, which is going to be 0 is less than or equals to 2k plus 12. We'll take 12 on the other side. That means negative 12 is less than or equals to 2k. And then k is greater than or equals to negative 6. We do have that as well. K is greater than or equals to negative 6. So all three of them. 14, let's solve this. It says what's one possible value of x minus 2. If I divide this by minus 2, this becomes negative 2x plus 4. If I divide this by negative 2, you can write this as negative 2x over 2 plus 4 over minus 2, which is going to be x minus 2. So basically we have to divide this by negative 2. If we divide this by negative 2, we have to divide this and this also by negative 2. So I'll just write negative 2 here, negative 2 here. Now, if you solve this, if you simplify this, you'll get 20 over 6 for this, and for this it'll be 9 over 4. And because we manipulated x to make it negative, right? We divided by -2. We'll simply change the places, right? So we'll write 9 over 4 here. We'll write x minus 2 here, and then we'll write 20 over 6 here. So this is going to be your final solution. And then we have to find the value in between. This is 2.25, this is 3.3, anything in between. So we'll say this is going to be 3. So we'll take this as 3. That's a possible solution. 15, we have a rectangular garden. It says the area is at least 300, and the perimeter is at least 70. So area, we have the length and the width. X is length, width is y. So let's say xy, the area greater than or equals to 300, and then the perimeter, 2x plus y, that's the formula for perimeter, should be at least 70. Solve for this. Let's simplify the right side, perimeter. Divide both sides by 2, we'll get x plus y greater than or equals to 35. So we have this, and we have this, which means C would be, or not C, D would be our solution.